Hey, my name is Michael, and I talk about branding. And today we're actually going to talk about brand equity. What is it, and why is it important for your business? And why are all these companies spending millions of dollars maintaining their brand equity? So before we do the boring thing and just define what brand equity is, let's talk about what it does for you. Brand equity is essentially an invisible force that elevates your product or service beyond its tangible attributes. It's like a nice little weight added to everything you do, making the customer feel the value in your product or service. And that value comes from the customer's perception, experiences, and associations with you. Leveraging something like this would be huge for your company, for your product, for your service. Brand equity is why you go into 7-Eleven and grab a Coke instead of a generic cola. Brand equity is why you pay $5 for a Coke at Disneyland as opposed to 99 cents at the gas station. Please subscribe to this channel. And obviously the value just doesn't come from the logo or from the fizzy little drink that's in the can. It's a result of a complex set of factors that involve brand awareness, associations, perceived quality, and brand loyalty. And each of these components come together to create basically brand equity. Awareness, association, quality, loyalty. So let's go over brand awareness. Brand awareness is really like the foundation of brand equity. If you don't have awareness of your brand, you definitely don't have equity. Equity lives in the minds of the people. Your brand needs to take up space in the living, human, breathing people of the world. It's weird when you think of it that way. If no one knows about you up here, you don't even exist. This is getting really existential, and I'm getting a little freaked out. A great example of this is Google. People don't even say, I'm going to go search on the internet for something. They say, I'm going to Google it. It will be interesting to see if this changes with AI. But for now, Google will probably keep that title for a very long time. So, brand associations. What does that mean? What comes to mind when a customer thinks about your brand? What do they associate you with? Nike and its Just Do It slogan is a great example of this. When you see a group of obviously in-shaped, well-trained individuals all running together in a group, and you know they're like physically at their peak, your mind just kind of puts that Nike logo on their clothes for you. You don't even need to really see it. What kind of brand associations would you like with your brand? Perceived brand quality. This is a big one. Obviously, this is the consumer's perception of how high of a quality of a product or service do you have? Is your stuff really great, expensive, built to last, or is it cheap, trash, throwaway? What? Quality. When I started doing video, I went and researched how other people did video. And what did I see in every single beautiful YouTube video that I saw? This microphone. It really didn't take me very much research to figure out I should probably just get this microphone. And thank you to my wife, Christy. She actually got it for me for Christmas. Thanks, sweetie. And it is amazing quality. And everybody that comes into my office, I say, hey, you know, that's the same microphone that Michael Jackson used to record Thriller. I don't even know if that's true. Brand loyalty, the ultimate goal. When customers bought something from you and it was so good that they want to come back and buy some more, or possibly bring some of their friends and family along with them when they do return. That's what we're all going for here. Starbucks is actually a really good example in this case, because if you're really into coffee, like my wife, you'll hear that Starbucks coffee is kind of trash. It's burnt. It tastes kind of bad, and the only reason why people buy it is because they fill it full of dairy and sugar, and then suddenly it tastes better. But the actual quality of the coffee is really quite bad. But for some reason, people line up every morning to get that Starbucks. They love the cups. Even when the design of the cups changes, people like post about it. I remember a time when people would be like, oh, I heard Starbucks change their cup to the seasonal red and white one. I got to go get one and take a picture of it, you know, for my Instagram or whatever. What? How is McDonald's not capturing that? How are other brands not able to do that? And why is Starbucks able to do it? Because of their brand loyalty. So some other real world examples of super amazing brand equity is Apple. Now, I consider myself kind of a tech person. So when I would buy tech, laptops, phones, whatever in the past, I would always look at processor speeds, how much RAM I was getting, how fast was the video cards, all that kind of stuff. I'm always like into it. I want it to perform. I want it to work really well. And when I was younger, I would build gaming PCs, and I would always run into people that would buy Macs that were 3-4 times as much as mine. And they were terrible. They really honestly didn't perform very well back in the day. Mac stuff is a lot better these days. But back in the day, it just wouldn't perform that well. And it was usually designers. And they never really had a reason for why they bought the Mac. It's just kind of like, well, I'm a designer, so I get a Mac. And that is so crazy that someone would self-identify as a designer and then in their mind think, I have no other option as a designer than to get a Mac. Now that is an insane brand loyalty. That is a cult following, right? It is. It's straight up cult following. Another great one is Volvo, this random car company that everybody knows somebody's mom who's had a Volvo. And we've all heard that Volvo, indestructible, can't be hurt in it, could take a nuke and that thing would just be like, whatever, dude, keep chugging on like a cockroach. The Volvo has always had a stamp of safety. And I don't even know why. I don't know anything about Volvo. In fact, I don't even know where the car is made. I have no clue. I know nothing about Volvo. All I know is their branding and marketing brainwashed my parents so well that my parents brainwashed me into thinking that Volvos were safe. Damn. So how do you measure where your current brand equity is now? And how do you start building on that? That's a great question. I asked the question. Why did I say it was a great question? So measuring your brand equity involves measuring your customers' perception of you, where you are in the market, and kind of on the lower end, your financial metrics. And you take those things together, and that's kind of how you understand how valuable a brand is. And building and maintaining on that takes constant efforts to ensure that the quality that you're trying to put out there remains consistent across all avenues. If your company is around long enough, you're going to eventually struggle to remain relevant. And eventually you're going to garner some negative publicity at some point. We're not all perfect. All of those things are going to impact your brand. But if you have a strategic approach all ready to go, things like these hurdles are definitely overcomable. So again, brand equity is not just some marketing concept. It is actually a tangible asset that can significantly impact your business. And by understanding how others have done it, by picking apart their components, you can develop a brand equity strategy for your business too. It's really not that hard. And I think any business owner watching this video already knows immediately in their head something that they could do about this. There's some weak link in their business, and you should fix it right now. Anyway, if you need help with fixing weak links in your business, wow, that is bad. If you need help with branding, shoot me a DM. And if you didn't catch my last video on the absolute brainiac CEO over at Kellogg's, you should go give that a watch. It's interesting. This video didn't even have Furby in it.